this. This funny chaos on a stage is the world's first original solo play to highlight retail crime and loss prevention, and it's coming to the Northampton Center for the Arts. This comedy-drama story of self-discovery follows elderly security guard Steve Smelly. He thinks his complacency at a department store is a way of life, until a staff shortage hits the loss prevention department. Under the strict eyes of the evil corporate manager, Mr. Coldstone, Smelly is reassigned as a loss prevention detective to curb rampant shoplifting. If he fails, he will find himself out of a job. To make matters worse, he stumbles a shocking discovery that will not only test his loyalty to the store, but also his decision will impact his cherished relationship with coworkers. Don't miss this groundbreaking show, in which Ken Harris performs 12 characters in an 80-minute story that will leave you on the edge of your seats. Check out the show dates below and get tickets to Foes of a Minimum Wage Guard today.
This project is funded by a grant from the Springfield Cultural Council. Thank you.
We saw my friend Gus watching us some distance away. Gus was wanting to tip his nose into the habit of this. Gus is a live version of Nintendo's Mario. Like the Quasimodo at Notre Dame, he had hunched shoulders and no neck, spider veins in his built cheeks, but he was still my friend. Now Jeff did not like Gus, and Gus hated Jeff. And whenever he could, Jeff picked on Gus more than anybody. That thing Gus doing with his nose was enough to get Jeff going. Hey, Nosy Joe. Jeff, I'm not no cat, leave me alone. Blues are violet. What is the world? Try picking flowers instead of your nose. Come on, pick my nose. You're disgusting, Mario. Stay out of my apartment, you booger digger. I'm like a tsunami. Not even look at the dangerous no masquerade. You want to throw hands at me, Jeff? Well, come on then, damn it, come on! Jeff laughed. Gus' face is scarlet red. At this moment, I go over to Gus and I usher him out of the shoe department. I can't believe what I just heard. Gus, a mama's boy, never had a fight his whole life. Stay out of here, the port with this crap anymore. I'll break my foot up in traumatized eyes. If you could, Jeff and his attorney will sue you for all that money you won. Oh, my dead body. They'll have to pry it from my cold back pillows.
Thank you for tuning in to my video. My name is Ken Harris. I am a local actor, writer, playwright here in Springfield, Massachusetts. I am the writer and performer of Foes of a Minimum Wage Guard. It's a full-length play, the first world solo play to highlight loss prevention, retail crime, shoplifting. I have been an actor for over 30 years here in Springfield. I started as an actor with the high school drama club at Commerce High School. And I feel my passion for it was ignited after seeing Chaz Palminteri's performance in The Bronx Tale with Robert De Niro. And I remember coming across an article about the movie actually being a one-person play before Robert De Niro got involved and helped Palminteri turn it into a feature film. So I thought that was exciting. So that started my journey as an actor. And over the years I've written screenplays, and I've also written plays, other plays as well. My first screenplay submission, called Sinister Choices, was a third prize winner at the Atlanta Urban Media Makers Film Festival in 2008. That was the first screenplay I've ever submitted to a competition. I think in 2008 there was hundreds of submissions, and my screenplay was an official selection, and I ended up garnering third prize award for that, so that wasn't too bad. I've been in a slew of local productions with Jalupa Productions under Lucretia Parts, the late Lucretia Parts, who was just wonderful. I also received additional training as an actor at the Springfield Drama Studio. My first independent film was in Sway, directed by Patrick Ireland. And the first short film that I've made, called That Gone Darn Scam, a comedy about a grandfather scam. It was an Audience Choice Award winner at the F5 Financial Focus Film Festival in Orlando, Florida. I thought that would be a great idea for me to just come up with a series of videos pertaining to the writing of my one-person play, Foes of a Minimum Wage Guard. So these videos are non-edited, it's free association, it's me just thinking out of the blue, sharing what inspired me. But most of all, it consists of my journey on this, on how I end up writing this one-person play, a story that's been just lurking in my head for so many years. Throughout my lifetime, I've worked a lot of different jobs. I've worked as a correction officer, reserve police officer, I was a mailman, I worked loss prevention, I worked security for Medicaid. There's probably a job I didn't work. I've had them all. But one of the most interesting jobs I've ever had was working in retail, working in private security, working with different merchants and trying to curb shrink. Another word for shrink is shortages. They can be internal or external. And I've always knew that in the back of my mind that could possibly be a good idea for actually its movie. But somewhere down the line, years down the line, I thought maybe it'll make a bit interesting play. I just had this, woke up one morning and I felt, well, this is a great idea to write about shoplifting and retail. It's a topic that rarely is tackled on film or in TV shows. But then I thought about, why not turn it into a play? I mean, I've been acting for 30 plus years. I should be able to pull it off. I know the characters in my head. I just have to get the words down on paper. So, upon last year or the year before, I heard about the closure of the Eastfield Mall. It was pending. It was going to close. And I sat back and I said, wait a minute. This is another mall that's closed. And I've been hearing about malls throughout the country closing, department stores. And I said, why not take that as an instrument and use it as a driving force to get this idea on paper. So, I mean, I had the characters floating around, but the ideal, that the actual theme of being fearful of losing your job for whatever circumstances. In this case, the mall itself, it could be a pivotal point for customers, as it could influence their decisions. So I sat down with pen and paper, and I can't believe it, but it took me about a week with a notepad and pen. I wrote the whole story out. It took me about a whole week to write the whole story out. But then afterwards, I went through months and months of editing, rewrites, that sort of thing. So it's easy to get your initial ideals on paper. But I feel personally the preservation, the energy, and all that will be in the rewriting of the story. So that I found that was a very interesting scenario there. So I really appreciate it. I performed this show, Foes of Minimum Wage Guard, at 3 venues. I first performed it at the Chicopee Knights of Columbus in Chicopee, Mass. on July 21st. And then the second showing, it was August 3rd in Springfield at the Gasoline Alley. And then we ended our summer show run August 24th at Holyoke Media in Holyoke, Massachusetts. Everyone who came out to see the show, it was well received. I've been on some podcasts. I had a couple of interviews here and there. So I said, this is a wonderful opportunity to highlight that solo performance as a play is an actual art. It's been around for thousands of years. Solo performances have been around since the days of the Greeks, the Roman Empire, France, and it continues to be strong today. It's very popular in New York, London, Los Angeles. So I hope that I can just take this performing arts and just highlight it and say, hey, if I can do it, you can do it if you have the passion for it. I'm especially proud of taking a topic that's not conveyed that much in the theater. The topic of retail crime and loss prevention, shoplifting, and put it all on the stage. I had a friend tell me, he told me that you might be the first person who done this type of topic on a stage. So I conducted my research for months at a time. I just want to be sure about it, and I could not find a topic within a one-person play that highlighted an original story about retail crime, shoplifting, and loss prevention. So I said, oh, I'm on to something here. This is interesting. I didn't set out to do that. It's just something that just happened. So, but the inspiration for me for writing the play is from my personal experiences. I've worked in security. I've worked in as a reserve police officer in a mall where we apprehended and arrested shoplifters. We went to the police academy and all that stuff. And then, of course, I worked as a correction officer. So I'm in a housing unit with people who was arrested or sentenced for shoplifting or other crime relating to theft. So, and then working there, I've heard stories from inmates. I hear them tell their stories, and then I'm like, and I might just take a story and just hold on to it in my head and say, maybe I could use this in a future story or something. So it's Foes of Minimum Wage Guard is an 80-minute show where I'm performing 12 different characters. The story is about Steve Smelly. He's an elderly retail guard who's reassigned as a loss prevention officer against his wishes. Steve has a good history working with the store, 20 years of just walking around being present. He works with the loss prevention department under that umbrella, but he works with them. He just reports. All his job is to do is just report suspicious activities or complaints and safety issues to loss prevention, and they take care of it, and he just walks around the store looking happy. Well, in this story, there's a shortage within that department, and under a very mean new district manager, Mr. Coldstone, he is not promoted. He's reassigned as a loss prevention detective, 0 cents raise, and he's told that if he doesn't curb shoplifting, he will be fired. Now, you would think an elderly person being faced with termination wouldn't think too much about it. You know, his career is behind him. But in this story, Steve has many obstacles. There's a reason why he needs to keep his job. He has 5 years left on his mortgage to pay off. And he wants to see that through. And also, if he's fired from a job, who would hire a 68-year-old man fired from his last job for being incompetent? So that's lingering in the back of his mind there. So every scene in the story where is a crucial moment for him, because there's always this threat of termination, and he's dealing with disgruntled employees. He's dealing with very very mean customers. There's a lot of stacks against him, a lot of chips on his shoulders, which makes it a very interesting story. He always tried to do the right thing. It's a story of self-discovery, so at the very end of the story, he comes across a situation that will test his vulnerability. It will solidify whether or not he is loyal to his employer. It will also affect his relations with his co-workers. And I feel that anyone who comes to see this story, they may walk out wondering, what would I do in this situation? I wouldn't want to be in that situation. The story starts off as a comedy and it slowly becomes a drama, but there's still funny moments in the story. But with these set of videos, what I'd like to do is 5 videos in all, is convey my thought process in writing this story from beginning to end. You may ask, how did I do that? How was I able to sit down and face a blank paper and write a 60, a script 60 pages long, and able to memorize that, and to perform that on the stage? So this is what this video is all about, because it's a wonderful journey. I truly enjoy it. It was a difficult journey. It was a lot of work. But I feel that if anyone who's interested in doing a solo performance play, this could help you. You could learn some things that will work for you. You may learn some things that may not work for you, but it's there for you to use. I'm very appreciative of the support from the Springfield area, and I feel that this is a great way to give back, and also to just be available for anyone who will have further questions on this this journey. So thank you for being here. Sit back and enjoy the videos and see how this process of Foes of a Minimum-Wage Guard materialize. It's a roller coaster ride that's kind of silly and funny, but also it's educational as well. So I hope you check it out. Thank you.